So these properties are harder to find. They take a little more digging. That's what we're going to talk about for the next half hour or so. Oftentimes there's negative cash flow in the beginning. They require more elbow grease. I love the DIY method in the beginning so that you can learn what you should then delegate. Do not do it for yourself forever. Ask me how I know. Answering 2 cell phones plus my personal one for 3 years at the start of my storage career was not a healthy thing for my family. I justified it, and there was some legitimacy, short-term sacrifice for long-term benefit. The key being short-term sacrifice. If you're one of those people who once you start doing something yourself, you never let anybody else do it, probably don't ever do the DIY part, right? Started outsourcing from the beginning. On a value add property, you better like talking to banks. We've got Cody here from Terrydale Capital who's going to be talking to us tomorrow morning about all of the ins and outs of financing. And when you have a value add play, it's just harder to meet the various banks' criteria. Persistence will win the day. My first deal, I got 5 no's before I finally got a yes on it. And that was a deal that went from $300K to $1.8 million in 6 years. And 5 banks were like, yeah, no, that's not a good deal. Like, it was a good deal. It just didn't meet their lending criteria, which is fine, nothing against them. But you have to be persistent. The value add play, since these are discounted properties, your down payment, your cash to get into it is going to be less. And then you can have, obviously, the same equity explosion that development can yield. If you have a dramatic heavy lift value add play, you can create that same kind of double or tripling in value. And then from there, I love to expand, right? And so this is my hybrid model where you buy an existing facility. Hopefully it's got a little extra land next to it. You optimize it, take it from, whatever it's worth today to double or triple the value. Then you use that equity and the cash flow to fund the expansion of additional buildings on that same lot. To me, this is the lowest risk, highest reward kind of formula. And so I'm sure you guys have heard a lot about that. We're going to dive into finding deals. Bottom line is this is where you make your money. Chris Michaels told us last night, right? He had no idea what he was doing. All he did was start finding deals. And the first one created $60,000 in profit for him and his partners. The second one, another $60,000. The third one ended up where he and I now own the property. That gave him the opportunity to learn how to manage a property. But the first 2 wholesale deals, he knew nothing. And what he did was not let the fact that he didn't know what to do on steps 4, 5, and 6 stop him from taking steps 1, 2, and 3. Everybody heard that? Steps 1, 2, and 3. This is where the money's at. So we're gonna run through this part pretty quickly, but where can you find deals? Right now, the best thing is number 4, direct to seller, but it doesn't mean it's the only way. So starting at the top of the list, any of the websites, commercial real estate websites, LoopNet and Crexi are 2 of the bigger ones. ListSelfStorages.com, selfstorages.com. We're going to skip number 4 for now. Go to 5, and Chris talked last night about doing private messages on Facebook or Craigslist. Obviously, there's some nuances to that, and you have to be careful about not getting put in Facebook jail and all those things. But really, it's what I want to encourage you to envision yourself as while you're looking for deals as a detective. There's no one magic formula.